Iyami lateo ala barubomi. Iyami awoyodan. Iyami yetu cuecueye asarayabi olocum. Eni parigu, eni choco. Emi motumbao, yemaya fiedeno, iyami. Oh mío, yemaya.
I descend from a long line of slaves that stretch as far back as Africa and as nearby as Guinea, before they called it Ponzi. I am before you on unshackled feet and pay tribute to my roots with unchained wrists to remind you of the spiritual. I carry the wisdom of my ancestors and honor them with these spoken words. Before they attempted to silence our voices, long before it became a popularity contest, long before pen met paper, we kept record by oral tradition. We sat around fires and listened to elders speak stories of the past so that we may learn within the present of the uncertainty in our futures.
Nice.
Before we were stripped of our culture and raped of our natural resources, we beat on drums and sang praise to the sky in acknowledgement of Olodumare. Before we were auctioned, sold, and traded, long before we were slaves, we cried out to the moon and smiled with the sun, giving thanks for a new day. We danced. We danced to drumming songs and called the energies of the most sacred to cleanse our souls of the negative charge. Before they brought us a book for guidance, deemed it the Bible, which is filled with stories of a jealous and vengeful God, we sought counsel and divination through cowrie shells. Before we were forced to hide our faith behind Catholic saints, we asked with humility in our hearts and asked the Orishas to guide us. They in turn advised us of the sacrifice we needed to be cleansed, of what path we should take and how to sweeten our foes. Before we were servants, peasants, and concubines, we were kings and queens. We lived off the earth. We were prophets, teachers. We were rich, not in materialistic things, but in peace and harmony. Before disease plagued us and medicine men gave us bottles that caused our bodies to ache for their poisonous elixir, we healed ourselves with plant extracts. Hunting wounds were bandaged with aloe leaves. Then again, we knew nothing of illness till these pale faces with glowing eyes invaded our kingdoms. Before they chained our ankles to our wrists, and our wrists to our necks, and our necks to each other, before they drowned us for carrying their contamination, we lived. We lived in community and spoke a language of our own. We learned weather from the clouds and understood the stars and the moon was our compass. Before we greeted them at the shoreline with golden nuggets, long before they cut off our hands for not working fast enough, we painted symbols to depict our history. Before we were found, we were not lost.